We have the Bulova Super Seville here for review, and I'm super excited to talk about this particular watch. This was definitely an impulse buy. I walked into Macy's and saw that they had it. I saw this on IFL watches not that long ago, and I really liked that graffiti design, but this was about 25% off, has some Macy points. I don't know why I always have so many Macy points. The second green dial watch I've just bought on an impulse walking into a Macy's, and I was able to pick this up for about $500, $525 after taxes. And this may just be the best deal in watchmaking right now. So I'm gonna jump in and try to cover as much as I can about this watch. Bulova is not the best at marketing, so I didn't find a ton about this watch, but I was really fascinated by the HPQ Precisionist movement. I don't think they do a really good job marketing this. I actually owned one of these movements a long time ago. I had one of those huge 46mm Bulova Precisionist watches that were cool to wear back in the early 2000s. But I don't know if I was into watches enough to appreciate what I had going on. And since I've owned Grand Seiko watches, there's a lot of craze about the continuous sweeping motion on the Grand Seiko quartz and the finishing. And again, those things are amazing, but I don't know if I really appreciated the accuracy and just what Bulova was able to do in this particular package. So let's talk about the things and the aesthetics first. So for $695, what you're gonna probably find these at retail. This is an amazing package. It is a quartz watch, which is gonna give you a lot of different advantages. One, you're gonna get this coming in just under 11mm thick because it is super thin, because it is a quartz model. That is fantastic. And your case shape is gonna be 37.5. So since this is a square shaped watch, the dimensions might throw you off a little bit. So 37 on a square shaped watch, probably wears closer to 40. In most situations, I would honestly say that this one wears probably close to a 38. Bulova did a really good job, I think, somehow finding the dimensions on this to really fit the proportions, which is the first time I've seen this on a square watch. The lug, they say, or excuse me, the lug is 26mm, but again, that's because it goes the entire the width of this square case, so it's really hard to determine that. And my calibers had this at 48 or 44.8mm. I don't have, and this was my digital calibers. I couldn't find my manual ones, and so take that for what it is. If somebody want to fact check that, please. But this dimensions on this is really fantastic. But one of the things that is really cool, and I haven't seen an integrated bracelet watch do this, is the use of this fluted bezel. So I love this fluted square bezel. I've not seen very many fluted bezels on a lot of watches, but definitely not one in the square design. And I do believe this is vintage inspired, but I want to say again, like the 1970s, Bulova had a run of AP looking watches. They had this one. They kind of looked a little bit like some of the Glass Chute original models, etc. But I really like this case shape. It's incredible. Moving on to the bracelet. So this is, again, probably Seiko-ish from a bracelet perspective. You don't have as much heft as the Mito, or you obviously something to Rolex. You're not dealing with that level of steel or a single block of steel. But the bracelet is nice. It's fully articulated. It's extremely comfortable. Pin and cap, so pretty easy to remove. A little on the flimsier side, but again, like I think for a bracelet where you're getting this under $1,000, that is to be expected. It does not feel cheap. And that is the one thing I want to call out. I think it's really easy to say, well, it feels cheap. It does not feel cheap. It is very highly polished with some matte brushing. It feels very similar to my Save the Ocean bracelet from Seiko, without the end links being as sturdy. But I really love the way it looks, and it is extremely comfortable on the wrist. For the bracelet, you get a double pinch deployant clasp, or the butterfly deployant clasp. No micro adjustments on this one, but you do get half links if you need to get that perfect size. And I found sizing it to be relatively easy, and it actually just really wears super comfortable on the wrist. Actually, I've been wearing this quite a bit as well. So before we talk about the movement, let's jump onto this beautiful dial. So I don't know what color I would call this. Bulova call it green. They say it has silver accents. So you do have lume on the hands and the markers on the tips. lume is not the brightest, but again, I wasn't expecting this to be the brightest. This is not the type of watch that you're probably going to be needing to have a lot of low light visibility. I do find that the green dial with the silver accents give you enough contrast where I've not had an issue being able to tell the time with this at lower light. Cyclops on the date, and so you're either gonna love or hate Cyclops. I think here this looks really good. I don't like Cyclops typically, particularly on circular watches. For some reason, for me, when it's square, it kind of makes sense because I think it matches at least a square shape. But you do get Cyclops on the dial. That's going to be a deal breaker for some, but I actually quite enjoys it. It kind of breaks it up because I don't think we have very many Cyclops integrated bracelet options on the market for those that appreciate that. The crystal, prototypical anti-reflective sapphire crystal with coating on both sides. You know how I feel about that, so we'll see how this is going to hold up. It says water resistant, but it doesn't say how much. So I'm going to say it's okay to probably wash your hands, but I wouldn't recommend going swimming in this one. So let's talk about the movement, which I think is the star of this particular watch. And the fact that you're able to get this type of movement, that's a unique quartz movement for under this price, is incredible. For starters, I was trying to find, oh, okay, it just says seconds per year. My watch has been running to the second for the last 2 weeks that I've owned it. It literally, if it says 7 o'clock, this is crossing over right at the time 7 o'clock. So I just did a really good synchronization. So I haven't touched it, and I didn't want to touch it for this video because this is battery power. They say that the battery is going to last you probably about a year. That's unconfirmed. So we'll see. I'll give an update if it goes out over a year. And what makes this watch unique is that the hertz it beats at. So it beats at 262,000 kilohertz. And if I'm not mistaken, like that's even faster than what you're going to see in like a high beat movement of 28,800 BPHs. I'm not sure what the conversion is there, but I know that this has the smoothest sweeping second hand that I've seen, or very much on par with Grand Seiko. And from my understanding, the way they do this is so 8 jewel quartz is a 3-prong quartz crystal. And so I don't necessarily know what it means, but what it does allow this to do is beat at this 262,000 hertz that gives it this really smooth second hand. So you're getting like 10 micro beats for every second, where I think on the average automatic watch you're going to be looking at about 5 beats. And again, just for conversation purposes, drop the factual numbers in there for anybody who would know that. But it's made in Japan. Not a lot of fuss on this movement, but I tell you, if you're not really into watches and you don't necessarily love to see that ticking hand, this is a really great watch to look at. If you're looking for the integrated bracelet look and you don't want to spend a lot of money and you love watches, this is also a really great one to look. This will not feel out of place in any collection. I've really enjoyed it, and it's a really easy watch just to grab and wear and go out. I don't have to worry about it. I can go to the grocery store. It's just something that I don't even have to think about, and it is a really fun watch that I've enjoyed wearing. I'm actually contemplating ordering the one from IFL Watches because I think it's a really cool design. And now that I'm thinking about all the crazy colors on that dial, this will be a really fun piece to own next to my Tissot that I got from those guys a couple weeks ago as well. So that's it. Really quick review of a really fun watch. Enjoy the pictures. I'm always available to answer any questions, but I'm gonna really enjoy wearing this. A cheaper version of the Mito that I sold earlier this year without the big date. Check this out, Bulova. Good release, my friends. I haven't been on my radar in a really long time outside of some vintage models. This just put Bulova back on the radar. I was gonna start this video. It's introducing this as the Mr. Bulova. Mr. Bulova. Yeah. So give a quick look on what this looks like from a distance on the wrist. Really enjoy this piece. I think it looks great. Great wearability, great size. Just a great classic look. But again, if you haven't done so already, thank you for clicking on this video. Go ahead and like and subscribe to the channel. This is Jimmy. I'll see y'all soon.